Any other questions, please? Well, can I ask a question from you, quite related to the question first asked from you regarding the number of variables that you're having? Won't you think that those determinant variables are interdependent among them? Did you check multicollinearity problem?
Actually, not the multicollinearity.
Because what I feel is your economic variables, like if you get that, then you are in a bit of a fix in your model estimations. So you have to make sure, in theory, that x1 variable and x2 variable are totally independent. Otherwise, your model is wrong. Did you check those?
I just did a Pearson correlation coefficient, not the multicollinearity test. And,
so I think better be aware of it when you do the research further. I hope no more questions on that paper. Well, thank you very much. Let's get on to the railway. Any questions on railway? I'm sure there are many.
Well, let's say 100 cargoes, total 100 cargo, are transported. The transport of total 100 cargo, immaterial of modes, all modes of, right? If you take 100 cargo, 32% of those cargo were transported by Sri Lanka Railway in 1979, right? But yeah, yeah,
Can I frame the question differently?
Yeah.
Has it gone up absolute sense while the relative sense it was down, or was it down absolute sense as well?
yeah. So total cargo that comes and transported inside Sri Lanka has gone up.
No. Inside the railway, has it in absolute sense has gone down or not?
Yeah, absolute sense has gone down for Sri Lanka Railway.
Not as a share. In tonnage, ton kilometers, has it gone down or gone up?
Yeah, in tonnage it has gone up. So no, we can't have the same ton in 1979, in the same ton in 2010. Tonnage wise it has gone down. So today, if you see 100 tonnage of cargo, right, 100 tonnage of cargo, 0.7% of tonnage of cargo is transported by Sri Lanka Railway right now.
Any other questions on that? Yes. I probably would not ask questions because I was responsible for the railway for 2 years, so better not.
This is actually, Doctor, this is not a question. I'm just want to give another idea for you to look into, since I am also more in the freight forwarding and logistics industry. In your study, I think if you can extend that study for the recent development that Expo Lanka did with regard to adding container transportation in through railway. So if you can do a case study on that and extend your research further, I think it will be a good experience for all the industrialists in the logistics sector. Thank you.
Yes, please.
tonnage wise, it has increased in the sense, for the last 3 decades, it has increased. But let's start from 2001 or 2001 to 2005. 2001 has had a higher tonnage of transportation. That also has decreased. Yeah, that's what I talked. I thought that substantial development of road transportation has been one of the main reasons.
Any other questions on that? We better shift from that topic as fast as possible. Yes, please. Any other questions? No? Okay, let's move on to the last presentation. That's on ethical leadership and public-private enterprises in Sri Lanka in developing and global context. Any questions, please? Yes? Let's do justice at least to the author, but one question at least. Yep.
Now, thank you for that opportunity, Mr. Kitsiri. Yes, the conclusion is Sri Lanka and Australia didn't differ in the way they manage ethics. Ethical leadership, leading ethically organizations, there's no significant difference. The only difference was in the mechanism when there was, when ethics was not followed. So if there is mismanagement, if there's corruption, they didn't have the right mechanism in Sri Lanka versus Australia. They had a proper, more structured system, like a code of ethics, ombudsman, maybe a system to protect and safeguard the whistleblowers and a number of things. Whereas Sri Lankan organizations lacked that. If we had ethics by any chance, the small number of organizations that did, it was just to, like I said before, just to please somebody and not entirely through conviction. That was the difference. But in terms of recommendations, what I'd like to say is we have a long way to go. We as a country and as organizations individually can become much better in terms of a global context, image, etc. if we are able to have a more ethical landscape in our organizations and the country at large. Thank you again.
Yes.
Thank you for raising that. Maybe I wasn't clear in presenting, but we interviewed the 17 organizations we interviewed. It was a cross-section of employees, senior employees, who had people under them, and also the leaders of organizations. So we believe it was a fair representation across section, and the sample was representative. Also they did, what we also realize is more often than not, organizations and leaders don't realize how much their followers are watching them. So it came out as an important factor by almost everybody who interviewed. So and that cross section helped us, establish that factor as well. I'm not sure if I answered your question. Yeah, that's why we phrase the questions to be as less subjective as possible, because we didn't call it a research on ethics or ethical leadership. We said we are conducting a research on values, and we started actually by evaluating the employees and asking them questions about personal values, and moved on to the other questions about ethical leadership, where they opened up and they were most comfortable in responding. Yeah. 23 organizations, out of which, yeah. Sorry, what? Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Sorry, yes, we have in writing. Oh, we had a very limited timeline to present this in 2012. We took 23 and 17 participated. So
yeah, I think it's a very valid comment
Yeah.
as a research outcome.
Right.
Because the sample has to be representative enough for you to come to a generalized conclusion. And also coming to Dr. Jayawardana's comment, how valid it is to get perception from employees to judge ethical grading of a company is a question. For example, now if you probably ask these questions about the companies from their bankers, how defaultive they have been to the banks, and from the tax department, how well they have been paying taxes, and whether these companies were having 2 sets of books for tax purposes, and how well they have been undervaluing the imports in their. So those are ethical parameters. Probably you could identify them from numbers and records rather than from a questionnaire.
Yeah. Thank
So
you, Mr.
if you
Chair.
get that one, maybe your rating of a company regarding their ethical base is more objective than subjective questioning. That's what your question was, I think. So maybe in your future research you can probably
thank
look
you,
into
because this is an ongoing research. It's not, and I just took a sample of that to present at this conference. It's an ongoing. We are taking it to a number of countries and number of functions. Like we are going to evaluate HR, finance, process, production, and things like that. So we had to end it up at 23 last time. So thank you. Point noted, yes, and appreciate the comment.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I take this as the conclusion of question and answer session.